waits. He jumps over top of him, and he's got a touchdown.
Did not see that coming.
He gets 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 on his feet still, and he's gone for a 90-yard carry.
Put that on your highlight reel.
From 45 yards out.
There's the turnover.
And a great ball. It's complete for a touchdown. Good evening and welcome to Infocision Stadium Suma Field as we are about to welcome the City Series coverage here on APS-IS, Akron City Series football, brought to you by APS-IS, your Akron Public Schools information station. And that's where we're at here at Infocision Stadium here at the University of Akron. Certainly capacity is about 30,000 people, and we're at a small percentage of that tonight, but we have high school football here for you, and it'll be a good one here as we will have a winner at the end of this game as two winless teams come in. The Firestone Falcons come in as the home team, but they're 0-5 on the season, 0-1 in the City Series itself. On the other end, the North Vikings 0-5, also 0-2 in the City Series. So both of these teams have not had success, and a lot of times from our history of coverage here at Akron Public Schools, we know that these games can be very good because they are two evenly matched teams, two very hungry teams, and two certainly programs here within the Akron Public Schools that have had mixed success. The North Vikings come in with a long latitude of not having success always on Friday nights here. But this program has been growing. You'll see smaller numbers as they've always kind of had on the sidelines from our view here from the press box. Firestone also kind of the same size. You'll see as Peter, our cameraman, goes to the left a little bit, there are more members in the band than there are on the football team. And that is why they have had some struggles here the past couple years. They've had some great players come out of their program and go to Division I schools. Certainly some even come here to the University of Akron. But they recently have had some struggles trying to get, obviously, the numbers they need. And that kind of goes across the board for all football programs. But there's certainly one of them there, as you can see the diminished numbers on the sidelines. The North Vikings will be taking the ball as they're about ready to kick off. It is a cool, brisk fall night here in Akron as the temperatures are in the upper 40s, and they'll continue to drop over cloudy skies here in Akron. But certainly after an 80-degree day, upper 80s, lower 90s, earlier this week we have dropped a good 40 degrees now, and it feels like fall, and the leaves will be beginning to turn. The ball is kicked and then dropped at the 7-yard line, picked up back at the 1, and he'll bring it out to the right side, trying to make some space. Has a great return so far, and is breaking it open at the 40-yard line and taken down by the kicker at the 48-yard line. So after a rough start, a 48-yard return gets things going here for the North Vikings as they take over on the first offensive series, and certainly a great way for them to up the momentum as a mistake early, but makes them pay as he is able to turn on the Jets and get into good field position for his team. They are slow coming out onto the field in general, and it looks like we are going to have a hold penalty. I didn't see the flag down, but we do have a hold penalty, so we are going to remove 10 yards from the spot. So we'll look to see how far we come back from the 48-yard line, and it looks like a doozy as they'll start over at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. So under center as he looks to hand off, and he does on the end around. Number 13 takes the high side and goes out for a gain of about 4 yards. And that was going to be DeMonte Covington on the rush. Hitchcock's on the tackle. Under center is going to be the sophomore, Mikhail King, listed at 6 feet, 185 pounds. He will be leading the offense under the center. Now setting up two wide receivers on the bottom of your screen. And in the pistol formation is King. Gets the ball, looks to hand off, but there's nobody there. Miscommunication in the backfield, and he's going to curl it around. There is a flag down as he goes out of bounds. at about the 42-yard line, but that flag looks like it is in holding territory, so we'll see what happens there as he turned for the handoff, and there was nobody there, and there was a hold on that play, so it'll set up 2nd down and 15.
Holding against Norton.
So the first possession, 2 big plays, one for a 1st down and one of a 48-yard return. Both have been negated by holding penalties. But you saw a little athleticism from King as the play fell apart there. Now 2nd down and 17 as he looks to pass and takes it himself and breaks about 4 tackles. Now comes to the left side, has a blocker in front of him, but he decided to take the farther blocker and not able to make the stop. So he's going to have no gain on the run.
No gain on the play. Brings up 3rd down.
So 3rd down on that play. On the tackle is going to be number 7, Darius Cornelius, the senior for the Falcons. Really, there was 2 players there, and his wide receiver kind of picked the outside one, but the inside one, being Cornelius, made the tackle. Only 8 seniors on this North Vikings football team as now they set up for a long 3rd down situation. Looking to hand the ball off to the right side, gets around the corner, a good block to get some more, and he breaks free. He's going to be close to the 1st down, and it looks about a yard short, but it would certainly be a nice 16-yard run.
Brought down by Kevon Lee.
As he's able to do a great job getting outside.
Brings up 4th down.
And on the run is going to be Deshaun Thomas. I believe it was number 3 that ran that ball. So I have Thomas on a nice 16-yard run on his first carry.
The penalty is illegal motion against the Vikings,
which is negated by illegal motion. So they will do 3rd down over again and another 5-yard penalty. So Thomas's run of 16 breaking the outside negated by another penalty. That penalty was at the top of your screen, their wide receiver kind of moving further out in motion, and I don't believe he ever set his feet. I have number 18. I don't have an 18 on my roster here, so we'll continue to look to see here what that player could be, but it sets up 3rd and 21. Terrence Flynn is who is on the other roster. As they run to the right, he'll have a gain of 2.
Deshaun Thomas carrying the ball.
So instead of a 16-yard gain by Thomas's run, he only gets 2 there and sets up 4th down and 19. And the kicking unit comes out to punt this one away. Kicking this one is going to be Nisega Hakasimamin, number 68, I believe. As he's at the 5-yard line looking to catch this punt. It is high, caught, lots of pressure. And he does get it away, which is surprising under the pressure and duress he was under. He's going to be picked up at the 38-yard line and returned back to the 32-yard line. And now Firestone will come over, but great pressure by the Falcons to come by, and almost able to block it was number 27, who I do not have listed here as to who it is. But great pressure from him from the top side of your screen to get that punt away quickly. 1st and 10 now from the for the Falcons. Their guy under center is going to be Lamarian Carmichael, also a sophomore. And they're going to run to the right.
Darren
And
Postway is the running back.
the running back is going to be Postway.
Terrence Flint on the tackle.
Darren Postway, a
along
junior,
with Demetrius Williams.
and
Gain of
gains
4 brings
4
up
on the
2nd
carry.
and 6.
Coming out now, 2nd and 6. Good field position here for the Falcons as they have really a full backfield. As now he's going to look at it from the shotgun, throws it to the flank, goes around his fingers, able to catch it, and he goes right on by, gets a 6-yard gain for the first down. On the catch is going to be Postway as he flanked out. So he's got a rush for 4 and a catch for 6, and that moves the chains now 2nd and 10. From very close where it's from. It looks like it's from the 26. Oh, and we have a penalty.
We have pass interference against Falcons.
So that all negated anyway off the pass interference. Where are they setting this ball at? Yeah, I thought everyone was set up a little too far. Felt pass interference, a 15-yard penalty. Whew. Peter, we haven't had a lot of plays, but we've had a lot of penalties. Most of them starting on the other side as the Vikings already with 26 penalty yards. So they set up again here. The big defensive line for the North Vikings right there, moving across. They settle in. Their big man in the middle is going to be Demarius Bennett Jr., number 50. As he looks to try the same play on the right side, but this time incomplete.
Carmichael's pass incomplete.
Carmichael doesn't have anything there. This pass intended for Asim Latin, the freshman running back. And his first attempt that counts in the book, the other one was completed, but pass interference negated it. Number 17 at the top of your screen, Kavon Lee, as they're looking to go his direction, but not intended for him. Another incomplete pass, this one to Postway.
Intended for Darren Postway.
So it's going to make it incomplete. 3rd down and 20 now.
In coverage brings up 3rd and 20.
Great coverage by the Vikings last time, as they were able to kind of sniff out that play. As you kind of go through this, you get better at seeing kind of what these formations are and how they use them. Sending their big wide receiver to the bottom of your screen, and before we can get started, we have another flag.
Penalty flag.
So it's against the Vikings. It's got to be, yeah. False start. That's a 5er on the scale. So 3rd down and 25. So bad news gets a little worse for the Falcons. They did start this drive, surprisingly, on the 32-yard line. And now they were on the 46-yard line after trying to play things out. In the backfield, he looks in the flank again. He's able to, nope, and they're going to rule it incomplete, which is the correct one. Pass intended for Postway, his 2nd target, and 3 incompletes for Carmichael. And that sets up 4th down and 25. And we're in high school. We're going to punt this one away.
Chris Congrass in the punt. DeMonte Covington is deep for North.
Looking to kick this one away. Ball way high, able to catch it, but drops it and tagged there. So they start over with great field position as the center sends it very high, and not able to catch it is Chris Progogrants, the
North will take over.
junior, not able to take over. So their first possession negated by a lot of penalties, and then a poor punt opportunity allows them not to go anywhere, and gives them great position for the North Vikings. Hey, do you like our Facebook page? You should. You should follow us on Twitter and subscribe, of course, to our YouTube channel so you can catch all your APS sports action. We have all of the games and highlights posted on those social media platforms. Now we have the North Vikings first possession. This one goes to his ankle. He picks it up and runs left side, gets some blocking and out of bounds. And he will get about 6 yards on the run, which was a broken play for King. So second down.
7 brings up second down
and 3. Pistol formation for the Vikings as they spread things out a little bit. He looks to hand off left side, has a good hole, but the ball is loose and goes out of bounds. And they are going to get the first down, a carry of 4 yards. On the run is going to be Thomas. So gets the first down, which is their first.
Hitchcock on the tackle. First down, North.
Their first one yet. So first down and 10 from the 30-yard line. Top of your screen is Stacy Anderson. Ball again very low. He goes to pick it up, but swarmed in the backfield. And I think we have a bit of a wrestle for the ball. No change in possession indicated by any of the officials on the field, but kind of thinking he had more time back there. He's going to lose 8 yards on that.
Loss of 8 on the play brings up second and 18.
So King able to kind of make things happen on a couple broken plays, both of them called back on penalties for the most part. That one didn't even get an opportunity to try and make a play as he goes down right away for the loss of 8. Second down and 18. 7:35 left here in the first quarter. 0-0 your score. The ball is again low and at his ankle. This time the running back picks it up and he gets to take the negative 4 yards on his stat sheet.
Ball's recovered.
And this center is having an issue getting the ball to where it needs to go.
Stacy Anderson credited with recovery.
So Anderson able to pick it up, number 6. And unfortunately, he's going to get the negative 4. And we'll have a timeout by North here as they want to talk over what's become a great field position, but it's gone back towards midfield as now third down and 22. Akron Public Schools offers the best and most affordability early learning and preschool kindergarten in the area. Go to akronschools.com to learn more. Dual degrees are an efficient and affordable way to get your high school diploma and 2 years of college under your belt all at one time. The Akron Early College, High School, and Dual Degree Learning only at the Akron Public Schools, akronschools.com for more information. Also want to thank some of our support sponsorships that we've had out there. Alco, which is has solutions for a cleaner environment. Also Akron Felt and Chanel, specializing in screen printing, embroidery, and photo printing. So what has been an odd first quarter for two teams has shown why the win column is still at 0. Penalties have certainly been an issue, but also just a tough rhythm, even when good breaks have come with good returns or plays that have been broken off into something good. Penalties have brought them both back now. Third down and 22, just about 7 minutes left in this quarter. He rolls out right, looking for his man there, but incomplete. And that pass was just out of his fingertips. Pass intended for Kanye Lamb.
Intended for Devontae Covington.
It's not who I had. Devontae Covington. I guess it was, I will say 13. So Covington is who the announcer said it was to. And King on his first pass attempt, incomplete. Fourth down now, and 22. They're back to punt. No, they're going to go with the fake punt left side, and he's going to go out at the 36-yard line. Looked like a kind of a tough tackle there, but they go 4-down territory, and they're not able to get it, so turnover on downs.
On the right side of the Falcon defense. Firestone will take over on downs.
So they take over on downs, and now Firestone takes over on their second possession here in tonight's game. So certainly our season will follow all the Akron Public Schools, as certainly the good things are expected of the Ellet Orangemen and the Buchtel Griffins and the East Dragons. We'll have all of those teams as we continue our coverage here, as well as our City Series Championship, which will be this year at Firestone High School with their new turf field, as has been placed in there. We'll also have, you'll see the new high school in the background. This play off to a good start on 11-yard carry off the first run.
Leyland Busey, the running back, carrying for the first down, brought down by Christopher Simmons.
So Busey, his first time carrying the ball, and gets 11 yards. Busey is the freshman, listed at 5'10", 165 pounds. He comes in and provides a bit of a spark here as they get to midfield. Looking to give the handoff again, this time sniffed out. No doubt in the backfield, as even though he's got pink on, he's still taking him down, as we had saying, Dangerous Bennett Jr., he's the senior, listed at 6'4", 270, so when he rolled over him, he certainly felt all 270 pounds lay on top of him. But he gets back up. Loss of 2 on the carry. So Postway loses 2 on that one. Carmichael hands the ball off left side, this time to Busey, who again gives a similar result, a gain of 14 yards and a first down. That left side is wide open for him, as he's had 2 successful runs over there. And I think anytime you have a coach, he's trying to look to see what's working in the game, and so far those have been 2 very positive plays offensively for the Falcons. I'm sure we'll see more of it as we get through this game. Bottom of your screen is going to be Alex Knight, as well as Kavan Lee. They're not looking that way, looking to hand the ball off right side, some space, and gains 9 yards, as this time Postway has some success. His third carry, and the one for the biggest gain so far, will set up second down and short. So running on both sides out of the backfield has been their success so far in this second drive. Ball snapped, oh, but it's dropped. He catches it again and takes it down, as Carmichael will have the issue. It looked like he tried to put it into his chest, and either he didn't realize he was supposed to be taking it, ball popped back out, but luckily he still had it kind of in his hand, but then slipped out, able to take it for the loss there, but not a loss of possession. Do have a timeout on the field with 4:44 left here in the first quarter. Still tied 0-0. And want to let you know that no student at Akron Public Schools pays for a meal. Breakfast, lunch, snack every day. It's free. Go to akronschools.com for more. Also want to let you know that the Children's Hospital Sports Medicine treats all athletes regardless of age, skill level, or sport. Start your recovery today with the Children's Hospital of Sports Medicine. Akron Public Schools nutritional specialists create more than 32,000 meals every day for their 21,000 students, and they're all free at Akron Public Schools. Visit akronschools.com for more information. So 3rd down and 5. Certainly had their attempt at the first crack of it as a short down second situation, and now they go with trips on the right side or bottom of your screen. Looking to toss it to the right. Takes some time. Lets the hole open up, and it's a big one. Comes through, has a first down at the 20. 15-10, has to make a move, and he does. He gets through for a touchdown. 6 points up on the board, and a fantastic play for Postway as he takes it 35 yards for a touchdown. So this one sets up a 58-yard drive that ends in a touchdown and a fantastic running as they set up with trips to the right and great patience by Postway to let that hole open up, and it certainly did as he was able to get the first down from the hole and then the athleticism to take it the rest of the 30 yards in for the touchdown, and a fantastic move to split the defense at about 10 yards to get in to the end zone. Looking to set up now for the extra point. Holding it is Carmichael. High snap, gets it down, kick is up, and it is no good. As he wasn't able to get it through. The kicker on this one is going to be Prongrantz. So the junior not able to get it in, so it's going to stay 6-0 as the PAT fails. But certainly a very encouraging offensive drive there as they're able to make good on the 4th down stop. The defense of the defensive momentum shifted back to offense, and you could see it. Each drive did very well as they were able to get their first down, as well as a big play of 35 yards to get Postway into the end zone and get points up on the board here at Infocision Stadium. So now North looking just to rebound on their 3rd possession here in the game. And we've seen really the big McGilla for them has been penalties. If they can reduce those, they've had success with big plays, running the ball especially. And this, one of the hard things for a kicker, comes out, misses the extra point, now has to kick this one. It's always a short memory for a kicker is an important part, because you can't let it affect this and have a poor kickoff as well. He sets up and kicks it away. A good one down the center. It's going to land and be caught at the 4-yard line. He takes over from there right side. No, he stops, then he continues on, and he'll be taken down at the 19-yard line for a 15-yard return. They'll take over from their section there. Just under 4.5 here left in the first quarter. And the scoreboard update, certainly 6-0 Falcons on this one. The Falcons able to establish the run game very well for him on that second drive. This time he'll be in the pistol again, and behind him is he'll have, let's see, Christopher Simmons, I believe, is behind him. No, I'm sorry, that goes to Stacy Anderson, who makes a nice cut for an 8-yard gain. And Anderson with his second carry, again, kind of sees success running around the edge of the tackles.
9-yard gain. He was brought down.
So now 2nd down and 2. As we'll see if they'll come to the open side of the field at the bottom of your screen, or try and sneak for a first down here on the right side. Pistol the other way, as you can see. Blitz coming from the bottom of the line. And I think we're going to have a timeout called first.
Timeout.
And we do.
Firestone.
So another timeout here as they've taken 2 in the first quarter, Peter. So, but hey, it's a second down and 1. You want to make sure you get it right. Certainly the Akron Public Schools have fine and performing arts programs that are top notch, and certainly they are. And Akron Public Schools is a national Scholastic Gold Keys, Silver Keys Award winner, and more. Go to akronschools.com to learn more. Our fine and performing arts programs are top notch at Akron Public Schools. National Scholastic Gold Key, Silver Key Award winners, and more. That's a tongue tie. I gotta get it untied here as we go forward. Also, we want to let you know that the Akron Public Schools graduation rates are climbing, and as they transform high school learning with their college and career academics of Akron. Learn more by going to akronschools.com. So regardless of my tongue tie, we got second and short here after the timeout. Sets up, same formation. They run right side, this time with a new person coming out of the backfield. And that is, can't see much because his hair is so long. Let's see. I don't have it.
Number 24, running back.
Just number 24. We're going to go with 24. No name listed here, but hey, first down. So it's crazy to think, really, we've only had 3 first downs, and 2 of them have been by the Vikings. They just haven't had that bust-out play. Spreading really things out formation-wise as they hand the ball off to the right and run up the gut, even though they tried spreading everyone out. The pile's at about the 33-yard line. That's where the spot is. And on the carry is going to be Anderson for 2 yards.
Gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8.
I think Peter may be an igloo by the time we're done. It's cold. We're all used to summer. And now this is the first chill that we've had here on a Friday night. Peter with the windows wide open here at the top of the press box here at Infocision Stadium, looking to hand the ball off again. Big hole right side, cuts, and gets going. And he'll have a gain of 11 yards on the carry.
Good for the first down. He was brought down by Martell Wilson. First and 10 from their own 45-yard line.
So I believe that run was by Thomas. His 11-yard run. He gets it again, bounces it out to the right side. Great job with his balance as he's going to get another 4 on that carry. So his 4th carry. All of his carries have been for positive yards.
Xander Obey on the tackle.
Now their 3rd first down that they've already had in today's game. 2nd down now and 6. And Firestone kind of late to get their defensive line in position. And you can see it here. He makes another great cut to the left side. Flag thrown. It looks like we're going to have a gain of 15, and it looks like a face mask by the defense would be my guess from our position here. Let's see what it is. Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Personal foul, face mask.
So that run will stand. And that, I believe, by Thomas again. So 15 yards for him and a 15-yard penalty turns into a very big gain, as they are now at the 35-yard line. So as you can see, face mask before he went down, so it goes from that position. Pistol, hard count, and hey, back-to-back penalties. No, we're going to see. I think the offensive line may have moved before, and that could be where you have the center flinching the ball. Two infractions.
False start against the offense.
Nope, just a false start, 5 yards.
5-yard penalty.
Well, that's
Ball's at the 39-yard line.
4 penalties here in the first quarter. And man, this drive looked nice without any of them. That's certainly for sure. In the backfield is going to be Anderson. May have been Anderson in the last. He rolls right into pressure, and he's trying to get away, and he's going to take a bigger loss as he tried to get away. 20-yard loss, 21-yard loss on the sack.
Down by number 17, Kevon Lee.
Ouch. So King rolls right into the pressure, tries to roll back out and loses another 7 yards. So he loses 21 yards on that sack. And great pursuit by the defense there, as they were able to make the play. And that's sacked by Xander Abing. I believe that's who is a left defensive end. Pistol again. Handoff. Met in the backfield, no gain.
Colton Culver carrying the ball.
So on the carry is going to be Culver, number 4. And he's going to get no gain. And this is where the North Vikings have had 6 people run the ball. And really, outside of Thomas, we haven't seen a lot of success. But he's only got 5 carries. Now King has had a couple sacks that counts for him. But still, and that'll do it here for the first quarter, as the Vikings find themselves in a troubling situation here, as they're 3rd down and 38, and they're down 6 points, 6-0. Your score at the end of the first quarter here from Infocision Stadium, as the Firestone Falcons lead this one 6-0 after the first quarter. The fine arts are alive and well at the Akron Public Schools, whether at Miller South or Firestone CLC. The Akron Schools for Arts is an award-winning program. Learn more at akronschools.com. Also want to let you know that Eckhard Baldwin Funeral Home and Chapel certainly there to help you, as they promise to be there for you in your time of need. Whether it's traditional services or cremation options, they're there for you. The Eckhard Baldwin Funeral Home and Chapel. Well, the bad news is they flipped the fields here for the second quarter, and I think North wished that they hadn't, because they would have a lot better field position in the direction they were going if they could start from here. But you can see it is a long down situation, as it's 3rd and 38, as King took a 21-yard sack. And this offense not necessarily prepared for a big play, as they hand the ball, toss it to the right side, and he runs out of bounds at the 43-yard line. So a gain of 6 for Thomas, and the punting unit's going to come on. I know certainly something at the 1st and 2nd grade level for flag football, as we talked with young players interested in learning about football, is not running out of bounds, where they certainly here, because of the tackling, tend to run out of bounds to avoid the contact, as we have another timeout to discuss this over. So we'll continue to go back to our stuff. The graduation rates are climbing at the Akron Public Schools as they transform high school learning with our college and career academics of Akron. Learn more by going to akronschools.com. Also, STEM learning at APS is woven throughout the curriculum. The STEM schools are among the best in Ohio. Learn more by certainly going to akronschools.com. Play resumes as Firestone comes out of the huddle a little late.
Number 68, Senga Hakizimana, getting the punt for North.
I don't know what's going on. That 68 was already a punter. He kicks this one away, and knuckleball right through the hands again of Firestone as they're going to let it touch down at about the 24-yard line. But he's had a great game so far as I'm listed here. 27 from the Falcons, who's not listed on my chart here, has had 2 of them almost blocked, and now we have 2 flags off for maybe some personal conduct issues on both teams. We'll see. Yeah.
We have dead ball on sportsmanlike conduct penalties on
both players. You saw it there a little bit. It was almost like North was trying to push potentially a Firestone player to touch the ball to allow it to become live again, where they could pick it up and begin their second drive or fourth drive from there, but it did not happen that way. So their second punt out of 3 possessions, and now Firestone takes over from the 24-yard line, and they had great success last drive as they went for 42 yards and a touchdown, and looking to do the same here. And that major success coming with their running back Postway getting a big play. Blitz coming from the Vikings, and it pays off big time as they get a sack in the backfield. As he comes through, Terrence Flint comes by and sets him down.
The ball carrier.
And the ball carrier is going to lose 3 yards on the carry, and that was
on the tackle.
I believe it was Lee. Where'd he go? I'll double check. No, it was Cornelius. Cornelius minus 4. Spreading things out a little bit as he looks, hands the ball off, and Carmichael gets about 2 yards from the running back, Postway, on the run there.
Darren Postway, the ball carrier, brought down by Devon Coachman Cleveland.
So Coachman Cleveland on the tackle there.
3rd and 11.
Now officials time. It looks like that's a wardrobe malfunction of something. We're going to take out and either fix or clean. We wanted to. Start the clock. Now this would be an even more impressive drive if they can get it coming from the 23-yard line and not starting more at midfield. But 3rd down and long is here. They try to throw to the flank, and it is sniffed out for a loss of 2 yards. It is completed,
pass is complete,
but it didn't go where they wanted it to, as UC did catch it and got 2 yards, or lost 2 yards. So it sets up 4th down as their drive here has sputtered a little bit, and it sends back Pongres to punt. And now, as we've had a lot of pressure from the special teams, he's going to be kicking this one from his own 5-yard line. So the snap's got to be good, has some pressure, and a very short punt as it lands at the 38. And he picks it up at the 41 and returns it back to the 36. So a good pop-up off the turf, and he's off and running. And now they will start with great field position. The Vikings off to a great defensive stop by their unit, and you can see their coach is fired up as he greets his players coming off the field. So Neil Haslam there to greet all of his players as they come off the field. Big stop for them. Gets them another possession here. They're fourth in the game, looking to spin and hand the ball off. Makes a good cut inside, and he'll have about 9 yards on the carry.
Number 24.
And very nice. Gets 9 yards. We don't have his name, but number 24 came outside, cut back in, and got the 9-yard gain. Sets up now 2nd and 1.
Gain of 9 on the play brings up 2nd and 1.
So only needing to go 36 yards. And it looks like, unfortunately, Demetrius Williams is coming out. He has a bit of a limp as he runs up the field there, you can see from our angle. One of their linemen, so a tough one to replace, as now the Falcons switch their tackles to try to gain advantage, and they run right where Williams was for no gain.
Stacey Anderson, the ball carrier.
So Anderson, no place to go on his 4th carry.
That's good enough for the first down.
Ooh, I stand corrected, Peter. They give him the yard and the first down, so sets up 1st down and 10 from the 18-yard line. From our angle, it looked a bit short, but a nice spot given to them for the first down. Only the 4th first down in the game for them. It's crazy to think the Falcons only have 1 first down, but they were able to put that drive together for a touchdown and a lead. Pistol offense running left side. Number 24 takes it and again makes good post-contact yards as he gains 7 on the carry. And Hitchcock for the Falcons on the tackle.
Also on the tackle, number 78, Gordon Williams.
Williams also on the tackle there as we are approaching 7:40 here left in the first half. Outside of the kind of the first 2 possessions, the penalties have come down, and we've seen a little more of what these offenses are trying to do. Takes the ball, King, and hands it off left side, and no gain on the carry.
Thomas, the ball carrier.
Thomas on his 7th carry, not able to get anything going. Now this is kind of the sputtering. A short down and 2nd turns now into 3rd down, still short, but they need to get this conversion going to keep the drive going. Takes the ball, bounces outside, but cannot get away from the grasp of
Thomas,
Mark
the ball
Travis.
carrier. Brought down by number 42, Mark Travis. Loss of 5 on the play.
I believe Lamb on the carry.
Brings up 4th down. 8 yards to go.
So Lamb loses 6 yards. I'd kind of like to see a little more consistency out of the North Vikings backfield. You know, they've got a lot of guys trying to run with the ball. That one not able to go anywhere. Now 4th down. They're going to go for it here. 4th and 8. They need to get to the 8-yard line. Looks back, throws, has pressure right on him, and taken down. So the pass is caught, but Boosie makes the tackle. Covington gets it, but loses 2 yards. Boosie sniffed it out right away, and they let it go.
from their own 26-yard line.
So fourth possession now for them as they have about 5.5 minutes left. They'll take over on the 26-yard line and try and get their drive going. High snap, takes it, looks to throw, nowhere close to his intended receiver. And that was Busey who gets another target.
Carmichael's pass is incomplete.
He's only 1 for 5 tonight. And that one looked like almost like he had a glove still on his hand, or it slipped out of, because it wasn't, maybe he was expecting him to run more forward, but it was kind of leading the runner, and the runner did not go towards the lead, I guess. Second down and 10 off the incomplete. Carmichael takes it, hands the ball off, but it came out as he gave it to his running back, picked up by the Vikings at the 31-yard line, and he returns it, tries to break tackles, breaks 2 fantastic tackles, and taken down at the 14-yard line. So a turnover. So a fumble. I would say that goes to Carmichael. And they return it. Return it about 14 yards.
Alex Knight was credited with the touchdown-saving tackle.
I guess you could say it's touchdown-saving tackle. I don't know. I have a hard time saying it's a touchdown-saving tackle when you make the tackle at the 12-yard line. I don't know. But anyway, they get great field position. They take over at the 13-yard line. And the first play
number 24, the ball carrier,
shows not a lot of success. They only get 1 yard as number 24 gets a hard-earned yard as he took about 4 Firestone Falcons with him on the ride for that yard. But it's been interesting. They just haven't been able. It's almost like they've had success in first down to get good yardage to set up second and short, third and short, but then they can't convert the 10 yards on those plays. As he's got number 24's got 4 carries. Now he's going to roll out, does King. Has a man in his face, tries to pass it to him, and incomplete as he's not able to haul it in.
King's pass.
And that pass intended for number 21.
Lamb is incomplete.
So, and that goes to Kanye Lamb. So his first target. King is only 1 out of 3 passing, but he has -2 passing yards. So he's gone to Covington twice. He's caught 1 out of 2. Lamb now his first target and not able to haul it in, and he even banged the turf knowing that he should have had it. So now 3rd down and 9. A hard count. And they're both saying it's on the defense, so gives up 5 yards.
Encroachment on
and we'll set up now a 3rd and short situation, which we've seen multiple times before.
Brings up 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 from the 7-yard line. This is where you hear teams, they want to run, but they like the play action potentially. And I could see them thinking the same thing. We've had success with the run. Let's fake the run and try more of like a play action now. 3rd down and short. Lowe's right side. They're going to keep it with the quarterback, and he is in for a touchdown. So he scores from 7 yards out as King runs for 7 yards and a touchdown. And I'm not surprised as they keep it with the quarterback and take the extra man to help block as they're able to get things going. And they get up on the scoreboard and they tie this thing up 6-6. Now to try and take the lead. Snap is high. Kick is ugly, but I think it went through, and it did.
And good.
Hey,
4 minutes and 39
the duck may not fly well, but he's still heading south. And it went right through the uprights. Doesn't matter how pretty it is. They take the lead 7-6 here in the second quarter. So they could be going into halftime with a lead. And that drive, able to execute, had great field position. Only a 13-yard drive, but your defense helps set you up that way. And there's nothing wrong with that as they're able to get things moving. The fumble recovery got them to the 13-yard line and able to get in for a touchdown off a 7-yard touchdown run. You alluded a little bit, maybe play action. Nope, quarterback keeper. They bring the running back over, get an extra blocker, and that allows him to get around the corner and get in the end zone. So takes the lead with this one, and they'll kick off. Now Firestone still has about 4.5 minutes to get this drive going. So it will be interesting to see where they start from. Can they get a big return to set them up? And Firestone coming up like it could be a potential onside kick, as a lot of that protection moved up about 5 yards. So maybe hearing something that could be onside. I don't see why you do an onside here. You're up 1, and you want to make them go the full length of the field. They stay with the traditional kick. Going to be caught at the 12-yard line. Bob a little bit, but now in the pocket, goes right through the center and still on his feet at the 50-yard line. And he's going to be taken down with a fantastic run at the 34-yard line. 50-yard return for the Falcons. And so just as we said, make them go the full length of the field. Huge 50-yard return to set up their 5th possession and gets them to the final spot is at the 35-yard line of North. So now plenty of time to go just 35 yards and get additional points here in this half. Hand it off, right side, makes him dance, trying to go around, but no, caught from behind. A great catch by, hold on, I got my numbers wrong. Postway on the run, gets nothing. Over here. Who's our guy that made the tackle? I had his number, but I lost it. I believe it was Andreas Clay, all the way from the left side, defensive end, chased him down from behind. So now sets up 2nd down and 11. He doesn't get much off that one. Throws it up and over, not able to connect at all with his wide receiver. I believe it was Lee. Come on, Lee, turn around. Yeah. So Lee's first target, and 1 for 6 passing is Conrad. So the Vikings defense has made some really great plays, and they need to make 2 more. 3rd down and 11. They were able to get the big fumble return to set up the touchdown. But they gave up this big play from the kicking game. Looks to hand off, bounces outside right, needs to make a tackle. Hill blows right by the tackler, and we're going to be there for a 1st down for a good spot. A gain of 11 is what we'll have.
Coachman Cleveland on the tackle.
Cleveland on the tackle.
Good for the 1st down.
And Postway on the run for the first down. So now 1st down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Clock continues to tick, tick, tick down as we're at 3 minutes and 15 seconds here in the second quarter. And do note these teams used up a lot of timeouts in the first quarter, so now they don't have as much as an arsenal there. Conrad in the backfield fakes it going and runs it himself to the right. Cuts, big hit over top while he was a runner, a gain of 5 for Carmichael. Carmichael's got 3 runs. I think he had two basic sacks, 1 run because he had to. That one more of a design play. He gets positive yards of 5 yards. I like kind of using him in postway because postway faked hard to the left and then he ran right. With that play, the time continues as we're now under 2.5 minutes. So if they want to keep this offense, they do have to speed up the urgency of getting plays in. And now a very odd thing, you used up all the time in your play clock, and now you call timeout. So with 2:14 left here in the second quarter, the Vikings trying to hold on to this 7-6 lead here in the second quarter. During the timeout, I want to let you know that the Akron Public Schools pre-engineering program is among the best in the world. The robotics team from Akron Public Schools have been winners in the world and national tournaments. Learn more at akronschools.com. Also want to let you know that Leonardo's Pizza and Chicken, their pizza is made in the original stone oven with dough that's made fresh every day. So check out Leonardo's Pizza and Chicken, one of our sponsors here of APS Information Station, and our coverage of Akron Public Schools City Series football. So here we go. After the timeout, what was drawn up, and this is what it is. Running to the right side, cuts in, has the 1st down. He's to about the 10-yard line. So he gained 10. There is a flag down, so I'm going to wait to see what Postway is going to be credited with. It's in the area of a defensive penalty, but we shall see. If it were a hold, it would keep them from getting the 1st down. No signal given by the line judge, and the signal back to the north side is holding, which they will accept. So the run partially negated with the hold penalty. Should be to about the 26-yard line. So it would set up second and 12. 10 yards.
Replay 2nd down. We're 2nd and 13.
That's what's so hard about hold penalties. A good play, but it starts from here, then you got to move back 10 yards, and then you replay the down. Jeez. Momentum killer, holding penalties. 2:03 here in the second quarter. Motion coming to the bottom of your screen. Looks on the pitch, catches it, but met by the Vikings ship that's taking him down. Whistle's going to blow, and I think they're going to take him, give him a really nice spot at the 32-yard line, because they had him way back to about the 44-yard line. But forward progress is where it stopped. But a little late on the whistle. They watched it through. 3rd down and 18. And man, you could say that this Vikings defense has been bent but not broken would be my description of their defense here in the first half. There have been amazing plays the defense have made and boneheaded plays the defense have made. But they find themselves with a lead, so you can't complain about that. 3rd down and 18. Carmichael is going to roll to his right into the coverage. He throws it up, and he needs Postway to make a play. He's dancing. He's moving. If he can get away, can he turn? He loses the football, and the Vikings have it off the fumble. Holy preluding there. So, let's see. He's going to get 10 yards on the pass to Postway, who then fumbles and gives it up to them at the 21-yard line. Boy. Well, bend and not break. That's what I just said. Man. You thought almost there for a second that Postway was going to be able to break the tackle and get the first down, or at least set up a 4th and short. And then, boom, the football comes out, and now the Vikings have it. They're going to run to the right, and there is nowhere to go there. And he's just going to lay down and not give up the fumble because he lost 2 yards.
In the backfield by Donovan Daniel.
I couldn't see. The numbers are not great. Trying to catch them.
Play brings up 2nd and 12.
I think that was Anderson. Yeah. Anderson on the negative 2 yards. But it keeps, the whole purpose of that play, Peter, is the clock is still running. So I think they're going to milk this all the way out, knowing that they're in their own territory. It's going to be a very similar play to the left side. This time he bounces it out, but still gets caught. And this one is Thomas, who's going to lose a yard. But they might have to run one play for this first half. He's going to come to a conclusion. I think they have to run one. Maybe not. I didn't have my eyes on the clock and when they started their timer. I don't even know if they have to run one. There you go. They don't. So at the end of the first half here from Infocision Stadium, Suma Field, the Vikings, the North Vikings, find themselves up 7-6 over the Firestone Falcons. We will take a break over halftime. We'll be back for halftime stats here and go over all the first half, what it was. But you're watching Akron City Series football, brought to you by APS-IS, your information, your Akron Public Schools information station. Welcome back here to the second half in Infocision Stadium, Suma Field. And certainly Akron City Series football brought to you by APS-IS, your Akron Public Schools information station. And this one giving us a great City Series battle here as the North Vikings were able to take a 7-6 lead into halftime over the Firestone Falcons. The Firestone Falcons only 60 yards in rushing, and you can see how close the score is, 7-6. And then the North Vikings only with 59 yards rushing. Passing pretty much the same, 8 yards, 7 yards, or 10 yards. So very even across the board when you look across these stats, as the kick is short and goes out at the 28-yard line for a penalty. So both of these teams had a very interesting first half. If you look at it, Postway for the Falcons ended with the first half with 59 yards, and it's certainly his 35-yard touchdown scamper to get them 6 points. Carmichael has been a bit ineffective. Certainly you could say 1 for 7 for only 10 yards passing. On the other end, Thomas has had 8 carries for 41 yards. He didn't get the touchdown. King did for a 7-yard run. And King only 2 for 4 passing for 8 yards. Both teams penalized about the same with 50 and 30 yards respectively for the Falcons and the North Vikings. So the Falcons, with a high snap off their first play, makes it a fumble recovery.
Fumble on the play.
Oh, it looks like the Vikings said they come up with it, but the one that came down to go get it was Postway. I don't think that's a rushing attempt. Went over, the center sent it right over his hands. Now in the 5th possession here for the Falcons. And it doesn't start well with a 13-yard loss on the fumble. So Carmichael in the backfield looking to set things up second and long. Hands the ball off right side, and he's met at the line of scrimmage and taken down.
Postway, the ball carrier.
Postway
Brought
is
down
going to
by
get 2 on the
Clarence
carry.
And Suarez Pleasant.
They're still walking around like down there like something's going on. I don't see it. Terrence Flynn on the tackle. In there with, I know I've called his name a bunch of times. I want to make sure I have it right. I do. Bennett Jr., the other one in for the tackle, the nose guard. So now 3rd down and 21. And they need a big play, and that hasn't happened a lot for the Falcons. This one tipped up and incomplete.
Carmichael's pass is incomplete, intended for Kevon Lee.
Lee, the intended target. He's got 2 targets so far and no completions. So that'll set up 4th down and 21, 3 and out on their first possession. And they'll have to punt this one away. Both sides have had a lot of issues protecting the punt game. So each one tends to get a little tense up here from my standpoint of watching from the press boxes. Now we have a late addition for the Falcons. Both of them have been close to being blocked. And now this punt low, caught. It's right there, and it's blocked off the player. He picks it up, and he's in for a touchdown. And the blocked punt turns into points for the North Vikings as he came right up the left side.
Blocking of the kick. Andreas Clay took it in for the touchdown.
So Slay in for the touchdown. And I think let's see here. I think it was Demetrius Williams on a block punt. He gets the block punt at about the 14-yard line. And Graves gets the touchdown.
Akizimana in to attempt the extra point.
Now the extra point as this puts them up 13-6. High snap. Kick is up, but it ain't going through. It's short of the goal line. It looked like it would have gone through.
10:23 left in the 3rd quarter. North 13.
So they go up 13-6 as they score here at 10:23 in the 3rd quarter. And this is just the continued tale of the first half. This North Vikings defense tends to give up stuff, makes big plays, gives up, kind of that bend not break mentality that we mentioned in the first half. It continues here in the second half off the blocked punt. Both teams have been susceptible to giving up punt coverage and making it very close, and that one can't get any closer than that one. It hits you in the chest, the ball goes the other direction. They get 6 points off the special teams failure. And now they take the lead. They get a little more cushion with 7 points. Neither team able to be consistent from the extra point standpoint, as the Vikings are 1 for 2 and the Falcons are 0 for 1. Kick is up and away. It's going to hit at the 19-yard line, picked up at the 16, dropped, picked back up again. Running right, trying to get some space, get around the corner. Big stiff arm, allows him to stay on his feet at the 30-yard line, cuts inside, and will be out at the 32-yard line to start their possession there.
Knocked out of bounds by James Ware. Firestone will take over.
So that's what makes it tough, is not being able to play the field position game really from either side. Offense tends to be sputtering a little bit, but when you can get a bad punt, get a big return, block a punt, all those things are playing a big factor in this game. Both of these teams came in without any wins, 0 for 5 on both sides when you look at the record-wise. So you have to see, what is going to be the pecking order here in the City Series between these two teams. They've already lost 1, if not 2, and the Vikings have lost 2 in the City Series already. So where would they fall out? Who's going to be at the bottom? We're finding it out here. The Falcons looking to make a move. They get a 3-yard gain. And now we're getting a little chippiness afterwards as the run by Postway gets 3.
Tackle made by number 24.
And Postway with 9
Moses
carries
Evans.
already. And he's the one that's got the breakaway speed to make a big play happen. Lee at the bottom of your screen. And they run to the right. He cuts back left. Postway is off and running. He's at the 40, at the 30, and then they're going to take him down at the 22-yard line.
By Devontae Covington after a huge gain.
A 40-yard run for Postway. Where's the spot at? That's going to be 36 yards total on the run. So another big run for Postway. And he just exploded through that line, broke out to the left, and it was chasing him down. They did do that, but now they're in the red zone. So again, this is the bending part we saw. Can they make a play to keep him out of the end zone? I don't think either of these teams wants to get in a shootout. First and 10 now from the 18-yard line. Can't see who's in the backfield with Carmichael, I mean, but he keeps it himself and goes forward. In the backfield was Busey, but he keeps it himself for a yard. Lamb on the tackle. And then we see Carmichael limping off a little bit. Looks like an ankle or something. So he's coming off the field right now. That's not good for the Falcons. In comes Alex Knight, who isn't listed as a quarterback. Their backup that's listed in the book is Michael Davis, the other sophomore. I don't see him in there. It looks like Carmichael came back in. He did. So Lemarion Carmichael limps off, comes back on. I think we all know a lot of times the injury hurts right away. You limp a little bit, but he's going to play through it. Gets the ball, looks left, has time, throws it. It's tipped up, and it's intercepted by the Vikings at the 8-yard line and returned to the 23-yard line.
And he is brought down by Alex Knight.
A fantastic interception off a tipped ball. Really tried to fit it in a small window. Not able to do it, though, as he throws the INT. I mean, he's only 2 for 9. And that one, as the turnover woes for him, and the defense again comes up big, makes the stop, gets him in the red zone, but shows a little bit that makes Carmichael want to pass and put it in there. And really teamwork together. Tipped it up, the other person aware that the ball is up in the air, makes the play, makes the catch, and gives the offense their 6th possession.
Penalty on correction.
No, I think they called timeout prior.
Prior to the snap.
So prior to the snap, they call the timeout. Obviously, today's game brought to you by APS-IS, Imagine, Inspire, and Inform. All of these games put on our social media pages, so certainly like the Facebook page, follow them on Twitter, and subscribe to the APS Sports channel on YouTube to catch all your APS Sports action. You'll see the full game on there if you want to watch the entire part. Maybe you're looking for a specific player or family member, or if you just want to get the highlights. Always fun to kind of share with family members on social media where you can see some of the dynamic plays that we've had in today's ball game. You can see those highlights of fumbles and blocked kicks and large runs for touchdowns and so forth. Those will all be on the Akron Public Schools social media pages. So look for those, subscribe, follow, and enjoy all that is on the APS-IS information channel as we get back to football. Hands the ball off right side. Big hit. Flips him over top on the
hit by Alex
hit is by Knight. I don't know who the run was by. It looks like it was by Anderson, so he gains 4. I gotta move my sheets over. Anderson for 4, his 6th carry. 2nd down and 6. And King in the backfield looks to hand off. I think the ball came out.
A fumble on the play.
So it is going to be a fumble. I believe that he was right there to pick it up. It hit him and dropped, and he dropped right along with it. And picked up by Culver, who gets his second carry, but he only carried it for about a half second and then ran to go pick it back up again. Just under 7 minutes here left in the third quarter. This is the APS-IS broadcast of Akron City Series football. Dave Schick is your man up here in the press box, along with Peter George, our cameraman, doing all the moves for you over there. Looking to hand the ball off right side, and he'll get a gain of 4. Quarterback keeper for King, his 6th carry. Because of the sacks he had to take earlier,
Michael Chambers in on the tackle.
Gets him to only -9 yards on the day, but certainly had a very pretty 7-yard scamper at first and goal to get in for a touchdown to start up this offense, get them their first points on the board. Slow to get the personnel in for the Vikings. You never want to be that guy putting your helmet on and then running deep into the backfield as he's looking to catch this and punt it away.
Akizimana in the punt.
So he's in, ball high, pressure coming, gets it away. It's going to be a short kick. It's going to hit at the 45, crossover into the other territory. Not sure it was touched beforehand, but I don't see anything down. And they will start it at the 41-yard line. So makes good on the bounce. But their 6th possession goes for a punt as they're not able to get things going. And luckily enough, they have a punter that can come in, fix his helmet, and he's catching the ball and kicking it 2 seconds later. So now they're going to take over their 7th possession for the Falcons. They've had, if you look at the last possessions, the last 4 possessions for them, they've had an interception, a punt block, and then a fumble after a huge kickoff return to set them up in good position, and a fumble before that. So if you look at it, you've had terrible 3 turnovers, and the one you didn't have a turnover, you had a blocked punt that allowed a touchdown. So needing to right the ship here as they hand the ball off right side postway, breaks the tackle, spins around, and he's going to be just short of the first down, but he gains 9 yards on the carry.
Carries it out to the 50-yard line.
That'll take him over the 100-yard mark as he has 109 yards on 12 carries. 2 big runs for him, the 35-yard touchdown in the first half. At 4:30, ran it in for a touchdown off a 58-yard drive, and then the second one here in the second half of 36 yards that they weren't able to get things going. We have an injury on the field, so we'll take a short break here on the APS information station, and we'll be back as play resumes. Welcome back to the Akron Public Schools information station as we certainly have our thoughts and prayers go out to the injured player as he came off. It's going to be a tough road ahead as the main player that came out was Darren Postway, their leading rusher with 109 yards so far. He was the one that limped off the field. They are looking at him on the sideline. Certainly wish him all the best and a speedy recovery. But now they have to go to a different person in the backfield, and it did not yield good results so far as Asim Latine was handed the ball.
Ball carrier.
His first handoff in today's game.
Brings up 33.
And he did not go anywhere, so he got nothing on that. Latine had been already out as a wide receiver, so now we may see him. I would go back to kind of Leland Boosie, who's had some success in the backfield. 2 carries for 23 yards, but I have not seen him come back in the backfield. Carmichael in the back, now looking 4 wide as he looks to fake the pass and run. He gets nowhere to go. And that'll set up 4th down and 3. And presumably the kicking unit comes off. And Carmichael, who already limped off before, now limps off again. Presumably kind of reaching for the ankle, his left ankle. And I think we're going to have a timeout just because of the injury and the coach talking to the injured player. You got to get the rest of the personnel out there as the play clock had already started. Certainly want to let you know that web-based learning with APS Online helps students who prefer learning in a non-traditional school setting. Akron Public Schools and APS Online. Check it out. Find out more at akronpublicschools.com. Also, the International Baccalaureate Program, or IB, is integrated now into many of our schools for accelerated and more challenging learning. Go to akronschools.com to find out more about it. Dual degrees are an efficient way and affordable way to get your high school diploma and 2 years of college under your belt all at one time. Akron Early College High School and dual degree learning only at Akron Public Schools. akronpublicschools.com for more. Now, I read those, Peter, because I was in the back of my mind. I was thinking about Swenson. Swenson's one of our corporate customers. Swenson's Driving, home of the Galley Boy. If you haven't had one, it has been voted America's best cheeseburger. Open all year. Get to your Swenson's. Closest one from here is in Cuyahoga Falls. It's 5 minutes away. You can call ahead and get your burger waiting for you because they are delicious. Sometimes I get 2 burgers. You get 2 because I'm not a tater tots guy, so I'm just wasting space with tater tots. You just get 2 Galley Boys. You have the secret sauce. It's delicious.
Illegal procedure against the Falcons. Be a 5-yard
False
penalty,
start.
making it 4th
Call it on the
and 8.
Falcons. Only their first penalty here in the second half. 3:34 left in the third quarter. Hopefully I turned on my microphone. You didn't hear me coughing a fit as I talked about Swenson's. Looking to punt this one away, 4th down and 8. Most notably, there's been a lot of woes in the kicking game. It continues here. Lots of pressure. He does get it away. Hits at the 32 and will bounce out of bounds at the 18. So a nice job there, but we have a flag down, which presumably is for roughing the kicker for where it's located at. Yep. Which I believe is an automatic first down.
North is being called for,
I believe it's a 15-yard penalty, which would be first down on the 42-yard line. Somewhere in there. Oh, boy. I know you want to come after, and they were close, but you got to know how to make it the pressure but not get the flag. This should set up first down. I think that's why they're coming to talk to him about it. And I think it goes from their spot. Maybe it goes from where the penalty is. I don't think so. It should be from their spot and an automatic first down. I don't know why they're setting up 4th down and short. It should be, a roughing kicker, I believe, is an automatic first down. I think that's what the other coach is saying. Like, I know the penalty happened 15 yards back from the line of scrimmage, but the penalty is based on where the ball was. So it should be like 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line, somewhere in there. I could be wrong. I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night. This is my best guess. We're wasting a lot of time discussing it. Yeah, see, he's moving up at the bottom of your screen, and he's just talking to the other guy. They're declining. They're declining the penalty. So that's an odd twist. I think my presumption of getting a first down on the roughing the kicker is incorrect. It would have been 4th down and 2, but instead of trying to make the kicker kick again, which has been a rough spot overall for the Firestone team, they elected to decline the penalty and just take the result, which was a good punt by Prongrass to get the ball down to the 18-yard line. So, stand corrected, it's not an automatic first down. 1st down and 10 from the 18-yard line. And King looks to hand the ball off and doesn't go anywhere.
Anderson, the ball carrier,
So Anderson
hit immediately
loses
in the
3.
backfield by Wallace Lockett.
And not that the score hasn't already shown kind of where this game is headed, but having Postway out kind of takes the chances. When you don't have the home run hitter, it's tough to, you know, have this shot to get back in this game. Now, he is down on the field walking around, so he may return on this next offensive set. 2nd down and 13 for the Vikings, as the Falcons will have to help defensively to get him back on the field. Full house formation for the Vikings as he rolls right, looking to be a keeper, trying to get around the outside. Has good blocking downfield and will gain 7 yards, and flags thrown all over, and flags thrown at the end as well. So you may have holding and a personal foul. But the holding is in 2 different positions, one at the 18 and one at the 14. And the personal foul that happened at the 27-yard line. All right. Survey says most popular answer when we polled 50 people, holding against the offense in 2 places. We'll take the furthest forward and move back 10 yards. But I do not think you have seen the personal foul, which is also the second one against the defense. So we're going to move up 5 yards.
Dead ball personal foul against the Falcons.
All right. I think they should still move up 2 yards. I think they took the farther one. All right, well. Not quite offsetting. So 2nd down and 13.
2nd and 10 for the Vikings.
All right. 2nd and 10, I guess. Somewhere back there it happened, and then you move forward. Looks to hand the ball off back to football that we know. He's in a gain 2 on the carry. On the carry is Thomas. So now 3rd down and 8.
He's brought down by Jeriel Hitchcock.
2 minutes left here in the 2nd quarter.
short gain on the play brings up third down.
We've had a score in each of the quarters. First quarter, Firestone Falcons were able to score with 4:30 left. A 58-yard drive with a 35-yard run for a touchdown. Second quarter, able to get a fumble recovery and made a 7-yard run for a touchdown as they run left side here, and flags are down again.
Sean Thomas, the ball carrier.
5-yard carry, which will
And
probably be
penalty.
negated by the holding. And it is. And then our third touchdown, which was in the third quarter. So you can't score this quarter, I guess, because we're going to have to save it for the next quarter. We had the blocked kick, which Graves was able to pick up for a 13-yard recovery for a touchdown to make it our current score of 13-6, with the North Vikings leading this one so far. So really, either team, they could just wrap up the third quarter. We don't have to have another score till the fourth quarter potentially. But the question is, who is going to score in the third quarter? That is the question. Because they're probably going to go for 2, I would assume. Instead of the 1, try and win it if Firestone can score. But we're not there yet. Third down and 13. King rolls right, has a man there, throws it up. It is short. And I'm not sure if it was intercepted. No, they're calling it incomplete on that. It was very short, and trying to get it was number 5, Michael Davis Jr., the sophomore. But not able to hold on, hits the turf, and makes it 4th down and 13 from the 12-yard line. So now, as we've seen, Firestone has been very, very close, especially with Darnell Cornelius, getting close to blocking a punt. So the question is, they're talking. I think they're questioning whether he caught it or not, which is odd because the guy behind him made the call. They're walking forward like that was a catch. Oh, they are going to award the interception. All right. A little late.
The pass has been ruled an interception, and the Falcons will take over 1st and 10.
I don't know who it was targeted to. I'm guessing it was Covington. I'm not sure because everyone's left the field so far. So their 7th possession goes as an interception here with 1:08 in the quarter. So instead of them having to punt from the 13, he'd almost be punting it from the front of the end zone, which might be better because the punts haven't, but you do get the ball at the 35. That's not a bad position either. So 4 wide for the Falcons after the turnover of the interception, which it was overruled in the initial determination of the officiating crew. And guess who's back in? Postway gets a 2-yard gain on his 12th carry. So after the injury that made him come off, but we're going to continue to watch how he moves around on the field a little bit. That time trying to be patient, got 2 yards, and no real showing of an injury or a limp that he had coming off the field prior. Carmichael, last time threw an interception himself, is only 2 for 9 for 10 yards and an INT. Oh, I'm sorry, 12 yards. There's 12 yards. 12 yards? I have 2 in there. Yeah, 12 yards. Looks to hand the ball off right side and will gain 8. So Postway gets the 8-yard, hands the ball to the official, and then heads back to the huddle. Definitely look to have the same explosiveness we've seen in the first parts of this game. And just like the story wrote, that is going to be the end of the third quarter. So we go into the third.
Vikings 13, Falcons 6.
Trying to get an additional 13-6 is still your score at the end of the third quarter. Sorry, just catching up here as I was thinking about something. It was 6-0 in the first quarter. They tied it up 6-6 in the second quarter, excuse me. And then they came back with a blocked punt to make it 13-6. Sorry, 7-6 in the second, and then the 6 there in the third makes it 13-6. Now, as we forecasted, there's only been one score per quarter. And now look at where the Firestone Falcons are. They're at the 25-yard line, beginning of the fourth quarter, so the gates are open. You're allowed to score again. And I see it happening, Peter. They are going to score in this quarter. And now that's the biggest decision as Peter holds his finger up to go for one to tie. No, he's put his second finger up. He says go for two. And I agree. You gotta, once you get the touchdown, I would immediately go for two. Go for the win. Looks to hand the ball off. Postway has an opening right in front. And from 25 yards out, Postway gets another second touchdown. 11:51 in the fourth quarter. A 25-yard touchdown by Postway. Oh, man. I would immediately set up to go for two, and they are setting up to kick one. It is demoralizing. I feel like demoralizing play right there. I would immediately set up. Postway goes right back out there to set something else up. But they are going to go for the kick. This is for the tie. 13-12 is your score. Falcons need this to tie. Pon Grace sets up. Kick is up. It is low and off to the side, and it's no good. So they set it up, but he's not able to get it through the uprights. He misses his second extra point in today's ball game and makes it the lead still with the North Vikings. I feel like you gotta ride the momentum, and you could see it shifting there at the end of the third. First play of fourth quarter, 25 yards out, touchdown. I think you would just continue to ride that and try and go for two. So now the Vikings, whose defense has held on, you can say whatever you want to say. A missed PAT, I think, is an offensive miscue, but they still have the lead, a 1-point lead. And this is what I'm saying, Peter. This is the psychic in my head is saying we can only have one score per quarter. We already had our score. So sadly, Peter, that means that there is no more scoring the remaining 11 minutes and 51 seconds of this quarter. But if that holds true, the Vikings win by 1 point. Let's see if it happens as the Vikings look to kick this one into high gear and get into the end zone. Break the curse of one-score quarter. The kick is high, straight down the field, received and caught at the 5-yard line. Brings it out on the left side, gets to the 20, gets to the 30, 35, 40. He's off and running. He's got to beat the kicker. The kicker trips him up a little bit, but he stays on his feet, and he goes down at the 23-yard line. Wow, what a return as the kicker tried to make it get a bit of his blocker to take him out, and the rest of the team comes up and makes a big play. So the special teams continues to be such a big factor in today's ball game. Unbelievably so. A 63-yard return. That can't be right. That cannot be right. I got to redo my math, Peter. As he tries to scamper away, he looked to try to pass it, but it's nothing there. He's going to have to hold on and just take the 1 yard gain off the run.
He's brought down by Daryl Hitchcock.
To the 45, and then there's 10, 20,
Gain of 1 on the play, brings
26.
up 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that's 71 yards. 71-yard return. My fault, Peter. Quick math. It's tough. Sorry. 71-yard return for the Vikings. Set them up just outside of the red zone. Now 2nd and 9. Pistol formation, and they got him to jump. Adds on to the Falcons' woes here in the second half. They've got
Encroachment against the defense will be a 5-yard penalty.
75 yards in penalties so far.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
2nd and 4 now. Makes it a lot more manageable. And I like the call there on 2nd down. They were being aggressive. Makes the hard count on 2nd down instead of a 3rd potentially. Same formation off the pistol. Runs left side. 1st down and more. And he sees the end zone. And the Vikings score again in the 4th quarter and open this lead up 19-12. A fantastic run as he was able to take this one from the 14-yard line. And Thomas gets in from 14 yards out for a touchdown. And I didn't think they could score in the 4th, but now it could be all tipsy-turvy here, Peter. So they set themselves up. They're up by 7. They are going to go for 2, knowing what the strengths are and what your strengths are not. The kicking game is not the strength. They go for 2 to try and make this a 2-score ball game. He runs right. He has space. It's closing out, and he does not make it. So the PAT fails. So it remains a 7-point ball game, which we just saw before not work out well for the Falcons. But now they're going to have to kick it back to them, and the defense that has bent but not broken needs to continue its streak of keeping the lead. So certainly our first broadcast here of the Akron Public Schools information station's coverage of Akron City Series football has been a close one the entire way. We saw penalties and rushing yards at halftime be about the same, passing yards be about the same, and now it's kind of continued both ways with special teams really being kind of the X factor of both directions. And the teams line up on the wrong side of the field. Not really sure why. It's the 4th quarter, guys. We should know what side of the field we're on. But they get them set up properly. While we're waiting for them, want to let you know one of our sponsors, Primetime Sporting's Good, is the #1 place to shop for high-quality sports equipment. So we've talked about cheeseburgers. We've talked about all the other great places that help support Akron Public Schools athletic departments, and they're one of them. And I believe a warning went to the sideline of the Vikings. If you see where they are at the top of your screen, they need to stay in that back box, not in the front one. I believe that's only for coaches. But they tend to encroach upon where the officials are there, and certainly over that last big play for the return, they did a little bit. It's just called excitement. The ball goes out at the 16, so that'll be a penalty on the kickoff, and they'll get a little better position to start their drive. So the Falcons are going to need to come in. Luckily, they've got their big star in Darren Postway, the junior. he's had a big, big night as he's able to put together over 154 yards rushing on 14 carries.
Firestone is elected to have them
And they have, the Falcons have elected to have them re-kick. And this is, again, just pushing that button of special teams and making these special teams be what you and I think is just almost being a non-factor at the professional level because it's so efficient. Here at the high school level, it's not as proficient as that, so they're forcing them to redo it. Keep it in bounds because we have seen on both sides that they have been able to get big returns to set up the offense. So now the Falcons make them move back and re-kick. And the kick is about the same. I think if they let it go, but they drop it as two players come together trying to receive it. He picks it back up, and he's not going to get the return I think he hoped for. Alex Knight on the return, but he bumped right into Kavan Lee. Lee trying to go to the top of your screen to the right, and Knight trying to go straight up the middle, and now we have a flag down. And that's probably a personal foul of someone talking to someone in a non-polite way.
Pinball foul and sportsmanlike conduct called against the Vikings.
And that's a big one. So here's the bad news. They didn't get a great return. 15-yard penalty is going to help out a lot. It's going to move them up to the 45-yard line. I'm sure that's the exact expression that their coach had as well. Guys, we don't need, Coach Haslam is saying we don't need to make this any easier for them. Great job. Make it, tackling them when you're supposed to. And we're going to have a timeout. I think that's exactly why we tell them. Guys, we cannot give up penalties like this, or they will score and we could lose. And we don't want that to happen. We're playing to win. The defense needs to come up big again. And that's what I would be saying to them. All right. 20,000 students at Akron Public Schools make APS the 5th largest urban district in Ohio and the top performer among the 8 largest urban districts. Check it out at akronschools.com. Also, connecting community to the classroom, Akron Public Schools has hundreds of businesses, organizations, and foundations supporting its students and families, and we certainly thank them for their support to Akron Public Schools. Want to let you know that also Kohl's Garage Incorporated here in Akron providing comprehensive auto repair at affordable prices to get you back on the road. Also Richie's Sporting Goods providing a wide variety of school spirit items, embroidery, corporate apparel, and trophies. Check them out, Richie's Sporting Goods. So 10:30 left here in the fourth quarter, 1st and 10 after the penalty. And we'll see what they can do. They hand off to guess who? Their big man, Postway. And he's going to have a gain of 10 yards. I lost my pen in all the excitement. Postway now at 164 yards. And they're going to give him 1 yard short. And he got a bad spot, but he gets 9 on the carry. But it still sets up 2nd down and 1. Under 10 minutes now here in the fourth quarter. Again, interesting to see that after the timeout, the defense, that the Vikings came in to fire him up, gave up 9. Now needing to make a stop, make him work for it. Wide receiver moves back, gets back in position. Postway goes right side. Great patience on the right side, and will gain 5 on the carry to get the 1st down.
Postway carrying for the 1st down.
Whistles blowing as they move the chains. It is a chilly fall evening here as it's currently 53 degrees for the few that are here at Infocision Stadium, but they're making plenty of noise as they're seeing a good game here. A 7-point ball game as the Falcons, looking to get in the end zone again, would have to make that decision to try to kick after missing 2 PATs or go for 2. 4 wide is the formation. Carmichael in the backfield, runs to the right, has time, gets 5 and goes out of bounds for 6 on the QB keeper.
Marion Carmichael, quarterback keeper.
So Carmichael into the positive yards rushing as his 6 carries so far, as he's got 2 yards, I'm sorry, 5 yards positive so far. But he's had 3 rushes in the first half and now here in the second half. But did a great job of kind of using Postway there again, their big running back in the backfield, as a decoy, and then ran it to the right. At the top of the screen you have Alex Knight as well as Darian Cornelius in that 3 cluster on the top. Looks to hand the ball off. Postway dodges and dances for 2.
Postway, the ball
He's got
carrier,
17 carries.
brought down by Coachman Cleveland.
Coachman Cleveland, I'm sorry, on the tackle for the Vikings. And really, they haven't used a lot of the passing game with little success. I'd be pretty much kind of guessing Postway to the right or quarterback keeper to the right is where they'd like to run so far. They go Postway right side. Big hole opened up by the guard and tackle, and he'll gain 7 on the carry. And guess what? Another first down as they're marching down the field as they're just outside of the red zone at the 23-yard line. Set up, 1st and 10 now. Oh, we got moving from the defensive side. Yep, and that'll be on them. Another 5 yards for the Vikings. And that, I don't know what he saw. He was listening to the count. But that was the big man in the middle, Bennett Jr., number 50. He's made a lot of great plays today. That was not one of them, unfortunately. But something went down there that he just took off kind of slowly, and then it's like, oh, the ball didn't move. He knew it. Looking to hand the ball off, fakes it, runs left, breaks a tackle in the backfield, has some space on the corner as he goes for the pylon, and he gets a touchdown. So Falcons score on their 8th possession with 7:33 left here in the 4th as he runs it. From the 23-yard line. And that was Carmichael. 23 yards out for a touchdown. Peter's still holding 2 fingers up. I would also go, I liked going for 2 the first time. It was such a big play, and you had just got close. You had just kind of changed the dynamic. I kind of think I would go for 1 here, which is the exact opposite of what's going on. They're going for 2 after 2 failed PATs. In the backfield, of course, Carmichael and Postway. They spread it out 5 wide, give it to Postway, but he's tackled at the 3-yard line.
Brought down by Stacy Anderson.
So Postway can't get the 2-point conversion. So it continues to be a 1-point game. And the Vikings, who gave up the touchdown, potentially would given up the lead, make the play, and continue to have the lead. Now the problem is there's still 7 minutes and 33 seconds left. And that's a problem. ideally, you'd want the offense to eat up the clock. They have not done that. That has not happened in the game so far. As Peter from just next to me in the next camera box over, looking into my press box, is shaking his head, also agreeing with me. We have not seen that happen. Now, this is what we did see while we were talking about it. Pongrace came over, talked with the head coach after they kind of already had the huddle. So would we see potentially an onside kick or something going on here? Because you have to get the ball back and score. So as much as you're looking for the Viking offense to eat up time, outside of the last drive, which was very good by the Falcons, we haven't necessarily seen that. It's been big play stuff. And I think now Coach is saying that he's thinking there could be an onside kick and get his players ready as he yells over to James Ware on the bottom of your screen and that first line of Viking receivers. Let's see. I think he's going to boot it. No, he squib kicks it. It's picked up, bobbled at the 30-yard line. He tries to go across the field and tackled for no gain. But he kept it in his hands. So they kind of played the middle. They didn't quite onside kick it, and they didn't quite boot it all the way back as far as they could. So they were looking for it. Now they're going to take over at the 35-yard line on their 8th possession. Interesting to see what they can get together here. Runs right side, big hole, now trying to get into space, goes to the sideline, using space properly and goes out of bounds at the 46-yard line. A 20-yard gain.
First down for the Vikings.
And that by Thomas. Thomas has really been their main best weapon really on offense. 77 yards rushing on 11 carries. He's got a touchdown to go for the day. Not really a pass, not really a part of the passing game, but they've only had, well, they're 2 for 5 so far, so it's not like it's been a factor for anybody. In the pistol again. Looking to hand the ball off, fakes it, gotten from behind for a loss of 2.
Sean Thomas brought down the backfield.
Daniels on the tackle from behind.
Loss of 3 on the play.
Deshaun Thomas? Yeah, Deshaun Thomas taken down for -2. So 2nd down and 13. And I think they would, you almost need 2 more first downs. That's what I feel like. Be in good position with 2 more first downs. You got to get the first one first. 2nd down and 13, and you're going the wrong direction. He cuts it back upfield, gains 4. And stays in bounds. That'll be King that ran that one. Big 3rd down here for the Falcons. Even if they get this first down, I think it becomes 4-down territory. I think from here, they're going to try to punt. I do not think they're going to run 2 plays on this set. So an important 3rd down situation for the Falcons to force them to punt and set up either a good return, a blocked punt, to be determined. gets the ball, hands it off, straight up the middle and short.
Moses Epps, the
4th
ball
down and
carrier.
3.
He's brought down by Mark Travis.
Got 5 on the run, did number 24, who we do not have the name of. 4th down and 3. And I would assume you have to kick. Oh, we have an injury down too. So we'll have an official's time. We'll take a break here while we have the injury. We'll be back as the action resumes here on Akron Public Schools information station. Action resumes here as the players helped off. And still sets up a 4th down situation that they are going for. And they are tackled in the backfield. It will be a turnover on downs. The Falcons defense makes a huge stop at 4th and 3 on the 35-yard line. And an interesting play call trying to go with number 24. The ball did not go to Thomas, their leading running back, with 75 yards rushing in this game. They went with the other back. Similar play as we saw on 3rd down, but this one did not gain the 5 yards that would have given them a 1st down. So now it pushes the defense back out. They're going to have to make a stop. 5:17 left here in the 4th quarter. They are protecting a 1-point lead. 9th possession here for the Falcons. Last one resulted in a touchdown and a missed 2-point conversion. Gives the ball to Carmichael, who throws it, almost intercepted.
Pass is incomplete.
Not sure who that was intended for. I think Alex Knight. An interesting play call. Really our first pass we've seen on 1st down. I don't know what to say. That would be running, but they almost picked it off. And the person that was there was Andreas Clay, I believe, the 6'3", 195-pound linebacker, or DB, I'm sorry. They run it this time. Postway will get 7. He's got 19 carries.
That'll bring up 3rd and 4.
179 yards rushing. It has been a one-man show on the Falcon side. And if he can get him into the end zone, certainly our APS-IS player of the game, no doubt. We'll have a timeout here by the Falcons to talk about it, and rightfully so. Want to let you know Akron Public Schools offers the best and most affordable early learning and preschool education in the area. Go to akronschools.com to learn more. Also, no student at the Akron Public Schools pays for a meal. Breakfast, lunch, snack every day is free. Want to learn more? Go to akronschools.com for more information about that program. Also want to let you know about the Peanut Shop right here in Akron, providing service to the Akron area since the 1930s. They have some of the best candies, chocolates, nuts, and much more. Check them out, the Peanut Shop right here in Akron. Lastly, the HEPA Environmental Services, Inc., one of our sponsors here of Akron Athletics, providing safe, timely, and cost-effective abatement, disposal, and remediation services for residential, commercial, and industrial needs. Check them out. So 4:36 in what has been a slog of a second half. We've had a lot of scoring in comparison. I'm on the edge of my seat, though, and I'm sure you are at home as well. So now 3rd down, another big 3rd down situation on the other end. They spread it out 4 wide. McMichael, Postway. No, not Postway. They hand the ball off. He's going to be short. They handed the ball off to Stacy Anderson, who is going to gain 1 yard. No, I had the wrong side. My fault. Jody Stevens. I was looking at the wrong side. Stevens, 1 yard. First carry in the entire ball game. And why not do it 3rd down and 5 in a crucial 3rd down situation. Not the guy with 180 yards rushing. No offense, Stevens, but I'm riding the hot hand. My guess, 4 wide, same play, going to a better running back. Here we go. 4th down and short, needing to make a play. Hands the ball to Postway, who falls forward. And I think from this spot, it looks like he got it by a half yard. Yup. It's the same play, Peter. It's the same play. You went left? No. You went right. Postway, 1st down. Stressing me out, man. I'm losing my voice over this because why did you not run him on 3rd down? I would have ran Postway both times. Who knows? You could have had a breakaway. Anyway, same formation that we had. 4 wide, gives the Postway, goes right, cuts left, comes back up the center, 10 yards and down on the play.
Carrying down to the 45-yard line, he was brought down by Andreas Clay.
Wow. Postway's at 193 now, Peter. And we're very close to being a 200-yard game for him. 2nd down and 1. Postway, left side, cuts back in, still on his feet. Taken down, 9-yard gain. Over 200 yards right there. 202 on 22 carries.
That'll be a 1st down for the Falcons.
And outside of the clock ticking against him. Setting up 1st and 10. Hands off Postway. Cuts back left. Goes down, 5-yard gain. I could write him down for at least 5 yards every time. He has such great patience. That play is designed to go around the tackle on the right side. They knew that he was going around the tackle. He cuts back left. He still gets 5 yards when they knew he was running towards them. It was a known fact he was going that way, yet they could not stop him. 2nd down and 5, 1:57 left here in the 4th quarter. Down by 1, the Falcons are. Looking to pass this time. Steps forward, keeps it himself. Big hit from behind, and he'll get 1-yard gain. He comes up with the ball. I do not think it was a fumble.
He's hit by Demetrius Williams.
Demetrius Williams on the tackle, and he's slow to get up, and he's limping back to the sidelines. He took a huge hit, kind of like on the back shoulder blades, trying to get through the line. And we have an injury timeout. We'll take a break here on APS-IS and be back after the injury. All right. Michael Davis Jr. comes in for the injured Carmichael, who probably is going to sit one play, hands off to Postway, who makes another cut and gets 3 yards on the carry. Is now 24th carry.
We have a timeout, Firestone.
Firestone's going to take a timeout here. He's at 24 carries and 210 yards. And Peter and I discussed that as much as I agree that Carmichael is hurt, I think he's coming back out after this timeout to lead them to get a 1st down here. It's 4th down and 2. You're down 1. You got 1:33. You got to get a touchdown. They can't kick, so you got to do it. they set up. This is a big 4th down situation off the timeout. What are they going to do? I can tell you what I'm going to do, Peter. It starts with post and it ends with way. And he runs to the right. The strongest part of their line is on the right side. That's where they've had success. I would not use anybody else. Maybe Busey. Maybe I would decoy him, but I don't trust him. I'm going post way. He's got over 200 yards. He's running to the right. They're setting up now. 4th down and 2. A minute 33 left. Down 1. Goes under center. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Tosses it left side. Post way. Has some space. Needs to break a tackle. Stiff arm. Gets the first down at the 20. 15. He goes down. He continues to be amazing with a 12-yard run. 222 rushing. .25 carries for Postway. And if he can get in the end zone, he instantly becomes player of the game. Gets the ball again. Cuts inside, nowhere to go. The defense stuffs him. Williams on the tackle, and the clock continues to run. So they set back up, no huddle. The defense a bit confused trying to set up. This could be bad, and they spike the ball to stop the clock. So 44 seconds left, 2nd down and 11. The ball is on the 15-yard line. We've seen this twice already, that they have been able to score from this position. 35 yards out, Postway scores in the 1st quarter. 2nd quarter, I'm sorry. Third quarter, 4th quarter, Postway 25 yards out, scores. This can happen as all we need is an additional score to send this game out of here. I think only the Vikings have a timeout. They have 1 left. The Falcons have no timeouts left. Probably 2 plays left in the game for them to use. Gets the ball. Carmichael hands the ball off. It's a double handoff. It's going to Postway at the bottom of your screen. He cuts inside at the 5, the 4. He goes down. It stays inbounds. 36 seconds left. It will be a 1st down. That will pause the clock while they move the chains. So an 11-yard run for Postway. 2:33 as they set up 1st and goal from the 5. They spiked the ball as the clock started. We lost 9 seconds once they restarted. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the goal for the game. Down 1. Now I might do this, Peter, is you let them come out, and I might take a timeout if I'm North, just to see what they came out with. Let them set up and then call a timeout. You're the only one with a timeout left, and if they score, you're losing anyway. I might come out, see how they're going to set up, and then call a timeout. I don't see it happening here. Postway in the backfield. Gets the ball, right side, nowhere to go. And I'm not sure they're going to have time to run another play. If you're North, you don't want to get any penalties. Your guy's still in the backfield as they set the ball up, as they're going to spike it here to stop the clock. 10 seconds left. He gets the ball, spikes it with 8 seconds. They'll have time for one more play. One more play, Peter. This Vikings defense does not break. They bend. That's what they've done all game. They need to make a stop, and they continue to bend, but they do not break. But Postway has been posterizing them with a historic night of 233 yards. They set up for a field goal, down 1. They've missed 2 PATs from this same position earlier in the game. So now Palmgrass can be a hero by making this. Ball down, and I believe we had a timeout before he did it. Yeah, I would have too. Freeze the kicker. Good call. He's missed 2. That was a good snap, Peter. A good snap and a good hold before as the timeout was called. And I'm not sure he's going to get another one that pretty. Because it's not just the kicker that you're trying to freeze. In this game, you're also trying to freeze the center, who has to snap the ball properly. And you're also freezing the holder, who has to catch the ball and place it properly. Certainly a fantastic game here that you've seen, and it's been right here on APS-IS, the information station for Akron Public Schools. You can see highlights, which are going to be fantastic in the entire game if you want to sit on the edge of your seat of today's ball game. And we'll have our player of the game once we know who wins this one. Sets up again. The junior, Chris Palmgrass, is looking to hit this for the win. Down 1. No timeouts left on either side. Snap is higher this time. Ball is down, and he has to catch it. And they did it. The defense did it. They stopped him by great play calling, freezing the center, who sets it up high. The quarterback could not get the ball down in time, and I'm not sure even if it was perfect, the defense was flying through. There's still 1 second left. They will have to come out and take the victory formation. But a heartbreaking loss for the Firestone Falcons, who had 3 PATs, essentially what this is, even though it was a field goal. Same distance, and they failed all 3. And you have to wonder, Peter, you have them. You're right there. And you have Darren Postway, who's run for over 200 yards and did not get an opportunity with 8 seconds left to get in the end zone, which has been your most effective play the entire game. So they're in. I don't know why they're wide for the victory formation, but they do kneel it and finish it. And that'll be it as they win this one with a crazy, crazy game and win this one 19-18 as the defense comes up again huge. Blocks the kick, frustrates the kicker, whatever you want to say it. Big kudos out goes to the head coach, Solon Haslam, who did a fantastic job allowing that play to kind of develop, calling the timeout, freezing the center, the holder, and the kicker to allow that play not to happen. The ball never even got in the air. Looking at some of our stats here, certainly Darren Postway would have been our player of the game. He had 27 carries, 233 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Certainly player of the game type numbers, but not able to get a win and didn't get a carry at the end there as they put 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to really close this one up. On the other one, the victors on the other side that were able to do what they wanted to do, their best offensive player was Deshaun Thomas with 12 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Really no one else a factor on offense on either side. But certainly when you look at it, this game came down to the defense bending, not breaking. It is the theme of today's game. 2 winless teams, and now we have a winner as the Vikings, with this victory, go to 1-5, 1-2 in the City Series. The Falcons go to 0-6, 0-2 in the City Series. But certainly our APS information station player of the game, it's going to go to the entire defensive squad for the North Vikings. Not only did they have the big stop here at the end to stop a field goal that was a game winner, They stopped a 2-point conversion that went to Postway. They blocked a punt that they returned for a touchdown. And they had a lot of great returns. Also, this special teams unit really gave them the victory. And as much as they made everybody nervous, including them up here in the stands and on the sidelines, I'm sure they get the victory in what is a thrilling game here on APS 15. Certainly want to thank certainly like to thank the following members of the community for their continued support of Akron Public Schools and the athletic program. We mentioned them throughout the whole time here. And certainly we want to thank you for watching the Akron Public Schools football coverage. It's certainly brought to you by APS-IS, your Akron Public Schools information station. We'll see you next week. Same situation. We'll be here within the Akron Public Schools covering all the great players, coaches, and storylines that are here is brought to you by APS-IS, where we imagine, inspire, and inform. Good night.